Below is your full original cinematic voiceover script, rewritten from scratch using a different story world, new names, new locations, new details, and told in a real American storytelling voice. Natural emotional flowing with strong character beats and a clear 3-act arc. Length, 1,500 words within 1,400 to 1,700. No scene breaks, no unnecessary line breaks, smooth narrative voice. Script 1,500 words. I still remember the exact moment everything shifted for me, like someone grabbed my life by the collar and said, "Wake up, man. This is who they really think you are." It happened on a Tuesday afternoon, 3:12 p.m. to be exact, inside a place I had absolutely no business walking into, at least not in the eyes of the people working there. And maybe that's why you're here listening. Because sometimes the smallest, pettiest moment of disrespect can push a person toward the biggest turning point of their life. So let me take you back. Willow Heights, California. Fancy outdoor mall. Marble floors polished so hard you can practically see your future in them. And right in the center sits Langston & Co. The kind of luxury boutique where the cheapest thing has its own security guard. I walked in looking, well, not like their usual customers, old basketball sneakers jeans. I should have retired years ago, a hoodie with bleach stains from a laundry accident I'll never admit was my fault. You know the vibe. The moment I stepped inside, the temperature dropped 10 degrees. Not literally, but emotionally. You know that feeling when everyone silently asks, "Why is he here?" Yeah, that feeling. I've known it my whole life. I didn't come to make trouble. I came because I wanted to look at a watch. A simple thing, right? The Eclipse Chronomaster. I'd seen it online. The design caught my eye, and honestly, I just wanted to hold it. Feel the weight, see if it was as special as everyone said. But the second I approached the glass case, the whole staff went into defense mode like I was a raccoon who wandered in from the trash bins out back. The sales associate closest to me, Morgan, mid-30s, hair slicked back so tight it looked like he couldn't blink, pretended not to notice me. I stood there quietly, hands in pockets, polite smile, ready all the things you do so you don't accidentally look threatening in a place like that. After a minute, I said, "Excuse me, sir, can I see that Chronomaster right there?" Morgan turned his head the way someone turns when they hear a fly buzzing too close. He didn't smile, didn't greet me, just said, "That piece is extremely expensive." His voice had that stretched-out tone like he was explaining quantum physics to a toddler. I nodded. I know. I'd still like to take a look. He laughed. Not loud, but loud enough for the two ladies across the store to turn their heads. He said, "Maybe check our outlet store at the mall on Maple Street. This line isn't really for people on a budget." Right then, I felt that familiar sting in my chest, the one that shows up when someone doesn't just underestimate you, they erase you. But I kept my voice calm. "I'm not asking about the price," I said. "I'm asking to see the watch." Morgan crossed his arms. "Sir, we have policies to protect our high-value items. Viewing requires a verified card on file or a pre-approval appointment. Do you have either—" He looked me up and down like he already knew the answer. His coworker, Ruby, whispered something into the earpiece of the security guard standing by the door. A couple teenagers started recording on their phones. And the whole room shifted from awkward to humiliating. I wish I could tell you I walked out right then, but I didn't. Something in me said, "No, stay. There's something here you're supposed to see." So I pulled out my wallet, flipped it open, and set my card on the counter. A matte black Centurion card heavy enough to knock someone's pride loose. Morgan picked it up, eyes widening just a little like his worldview had gotten kinked out of place. He cleared his throat. I'll need to check this." He hurried off toward the back room. Meanwhile, the security guard, Luis big guy, arms like bridge cables, shifted closer to me. Not because I was dangerous, but because he thought I might be. I kept checking the time on my phone. 3:12 p.m. I had exactly 18 minutes before a meeting I absolutely could not miss. So now I was standing there being judged, being live-streamed by someone whispering, "Oh, this is about to go sideways." And all I could think was, why does this always happen? Why do people look at me and see a problem instead of a person? When Morgan came back out, his fake calm face was gone, replaced by panic. "Sir, the system flagged your card. We'll need additional verification before you can proceed." I said, "That's normal with large transactions. I can call the bank if you'd like." But before I could reach for my phone, here comes the store manager, Lucia. Sharp suit, sharp heels, sharp attitude. She stepped between us like I had just threatened national security. "Sir, I'm going to have to ask you to leave. You're disrupting the shopping environment and making our customers uncomfortable." I looked around. Half the customers looked uncomfortable. But not because of me, because of her, because of the way she said it. I asked her, "What exactly did I do that's disruptive?" I asked to see a watch. She didn't answer my question. She just repeated louder this time, "You need to leave now." Security moved in. Someone's phone camera zoomed in, and that's when something inside me snapped. Not in anger, but in clarity. I smiled, a slow, tired smile. The kind you give when you finally understand exactly what game is being played. "All right," I said quietly, "I'll go, but you may want to check your email in the next few minutes." Lucia rolled her eyes. "Sir, please." I didn't argue. I picked up my card, slipped it into my wallet, and headed out the door to the elevators just across the courtyard. I tapped the button for the 4th floor, the executive offices overlooking the mall. The floor where the new owner of Willow Heights Retail Group was waiting for me. The same Willow Heights Retail Group that had purchased Langston and Compey's building lease 3 days earlier. And the same Willow Heights Retail Group that I had become the CEO of 6 months before that. Yeah, that happened. If you're wondering whether the timing was intentional, yeah, some of it was, but not in the petty gotcha way people assume. For months, we'd been gathering reports about biased treatment across multiple tenants in the property portfolio. Langston and Compey was at the top of the list. I didn't go undercover to humiliate anyone. I went because I wanted to see if the stories were true, and I didn't want a suit or a title to distort how people treated me. Upstairs in the boardroom, 3 of my directors were already waiting on the call screen. They'd been watching the live streams, the comments, the slow-motion disaster happening downstairs. I walked them through everything. Not just my experience, but the data. The documented complaints, the security footage, the patterns we'd found. And I asked them the question every business should ask itself. Do we keep pretending this is an isolated incident? Or do we fix the culture that made it possible? An hour later, the decision was made. The store was required to adopt mandatory bias training, a public transparency program, and a customer feedback system. The manager was removed. The staff got retrained. The lease contract added new accountability clauses. And within a month, Langston and Compey looked different. Not physically, but spiritually. People were being treated like people again. Here's the part nobody expects. Months later, the store thrived more than ever. Sales up, reviews, higher customers from all backgrounds walking in without fear of being judged. Because dignity isn't just moral, it's profitable. But let me be clear. This wasn't a revenge story. It was a responsibility story. And yeah, part of me felt satisfied when everything came to light, but another part of me felt sad. Sad that we even needed something like this to happen before people paid attention. So now I want to ask you, what do you think? Was I right to let them show their true colors? Should I have told them who I was from the start? Or is this exactly what needs to happen for people to understand how deep these biases run? Tell me in the comments. Have you ever been judged, underestimated, or pushed aside because of how you looked or dressed or carried yourself? Do you think situations like this deserve forgiveness or accountability? I'm genuinely curious because stories like this don't start conversations. You do.